In breaking news, two men who know Donald Trump very well are sounding new health alarms, and one of them is even making a dire prediction of his term. And I'm not talking about his presidential term, I'm talking about his term of life. I have all the details coming up next. I'm Dan, and welcome to another Occupy Democrats report. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our stories about Trump's chaos, corruption, and slide into oblivion. Let's begin this one with his own words. Trump has become obsessed with people talking about the shaky ground he's on every time he dozes off or appears with that contusion on his hand. And now he's threatening those who speak of his dance with destiny. Last night he went on a messy Truth Social rant that included a threat against the New York Times. The New York Times and some others like to pretend that I am slowing up, am maybe not as sharp as I once was, or am in poor physical health, knowing that it is not true, and knowing that I work very hard, probably harder than I have ever worked before. I will know when I am slowing up, but it is not now. I actually believe it's seditious, perhaps even treasonous for the New York Times and others to consistently do fake reports in order to libel and demean the President of the United States. They are true enemies of the people, and we should do something about it. The best thing that could happen to this country would be if the New York Times would cease publication because they are a horrible, biased, and untruthful source of information. So the aging Donald is agitated. Let's turn that up a bit with these words from his former book biographer, Michael Wolff. And then I'll have the White House insider who's holding nothing back with a mention of a final chapter.
I never remember Trump falling asleep. You know, and it used to be, I mean, he got bored and then he would get up and walk out. I mean, all of the time. Certainly in the first White House, 90 seconds, he was bored, he was out of the room. Everybody going,
Well,
now they're going, because he's asleep.
He's asleep, and then what we're really waiting for.
I mean, you can't wake him up. Also, the cameras are running. I mean, everybody is in a low-level panic now all of the time about Trump falling asleep, because then he gets mad.
Is that what you're hearing?
Yes, and then he gets angry. I mean, he gets angry. He essentially blames the people around him for the fact that he fell asleep.
Well, that's ridiculous.
Well,
I mean, poor Marco Rubio was trying to talk louder, I think, to keep him awake.
No, and I think that's it. But there is no, I mean, you're on camera, so you can't jostle him. Hey, so nobody knows what to do.
The eyes shut, and then he just jolts himself awake. Well, it's a bit like being on a plane when your head droops and suddenly you wake up again. And you saw poor Marco Rubio on Monday trying to deal with it, and then Trump coming too. Do you think this is a health issue, or is this just Trump? He's 79.
Well, you know, I mean, we spoke last week about the sense among people around him that he may be losing interest.
Donald Trump is losing so much more than interest, according to former White House correspondent Jim Acosta. Jim used to trade blows with Trump on a regular basis and can attest to the man's former vim and vigor, but now he's predicting a 10 count on his former sparring partner.
And my prevailing thinking on Donald Trump is he going to make it to the end of this term? Because he is more and more out to lunch by the day. He seems more detached from reality and just, you know, seems cognitively in a very different place than he was even a year ago.
Are you talking about the naps?
The naps, I mean, the Truth Social posts, you know, the stuff that he is saying, you know, the Somali immigrants and so on. I mean, some of this you could say, well, isn't this all the shit he's been saying since 2015? Yes, to some extent, that's true. But it feels like, you know, you look at pictures of him, the bruises on the hands,
right?
The mysterious absences, the long weekends, you know, there's something going on. And I just, you know, it's a good thing when, you and I have talked about this, when authoritarians are incompetent. It is also a good thing when they're in a state of cognitive decline. And I think that's where we are right now with Donald Trump.
He definitely has the bruises. We keep seeing the bruises. He's trying everything he can not to show his hands, but we see the bruises. There's definitely a feeling like he's having trouble staying awake. We saw he had that North Korean style cabinet meeting, one of my absolute favorite things he does, where they go around and talk about how great he is. Right?
He was out. I mean, this was, Mitch McConnell style, like, you know, I'm just going to leave for a while. I'll be back, you know. And it was not just during Linda McMahon. It was Marco Rubio. It was several people around the table. I mean, we've gone from the dear leader treatment to the good night grandpa treatment. Like they're each taking turns putting Donald Trump to sleep as they go around the cabinet room these days.
I
And
think
it seems
Brooke
to me
Mullins.
like this is not the same guy that we saw on the campaign trail, even like a year and a half ago. I've been around him enough to know like the contrast is there.
The question is not, is Donald Trump in free fall? Because obviously he is. The question is, how much chaos and damage can he create while plummeting? Because two things are certain. His list of revenge, racist policies, and actions for corrupt profiteering are long. And if he's untethered from reality, we just don't know how extreme he can go with them. And second, how extreme can he go before we see any kind of intervention from his merry band of misfits? The answer is far. That's because he has packed his team with worshippers who are there specifically not to put up resistance. But the equation is rapidly changing, and we are going to need barriers for a man who is falling off a cliff.